Yah Scriptures, 1 Samuel chapter 23. And they informed David, saying, See, the Pelethites are fighting against Keilah, and they are plundering the threshing floors. So David inquired of Yahweh, saying, Shall I go and smite these Pelethites? And Yahweh said to David, Go and smite the Pelethites and save Keilah. And David's men said, See, we here in Yehudah are afraid. How much more then if we go to Keilah against the armies of the Pelethites? David inquired of Yahweh once again, and Yahweh answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah. I am giving the Pelethites into your hand. So David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Pelethites, and he led away their livestock and smote them a great smiting. Thus David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. And it came to be, when Abiathar, son of Abimelech, fled to David at Keilah, he went down with a shoulder garment in his hand. Shaul was informed that David had gone to Keilah. Shaul said, Elohim has estranged him into my hand, for he has shut himself in by entering a town that has gates and bars. And Shaul summoned all the people to battle, to go down to Keilah, to besiege David and his men. And David knew that Shaul was plotting evil against him, and said to Abiathar, the Kohen, the priest, Bring the shoulder garment here. And David said, O Yahweh, Elohim of Yasharel, your servant has heard for certain that Shaul seeks to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Are the landowners of Keilah going to surrender me into his hand? Is Shaul coming down, as your servant has heard? O Yahweh, Elohim of Yasharel, I pray, let your servant know. And Yahweh said, He is coming down. David said, Are the landowners of Keilah going to surrender me and my men into the hand of Shaul? And Yahweh said, They are going to surrender you. Then David and his men, about 600, rose, left Keilah, and went wherever they could go. And Shaul was informed that David had escaped from Keilah, and he ceased to go out. And David remained in the wilderness and strongholds, and remained in the hill country, in the wilderness of Ziph. And Shaul sought him every day, but Elohim did not give him into his hand. David saw that Shaul had come out to seek his life, while David was in the wilderness of Ziph at Horesh. And Jehonathan, Shaul's son, arose and went to David at Horesh, and strengthened his hand in Elohim, and said to him, Do not fear, for the hand of Shaul my father is not going to find you, and you are to reign over Yasharel, and I am to be next to you. Even my father Shaul knows that. And they made a covenant before Yahweh. And David remained at Horesh, while Jehonathan went to his own house. And the Ziphites came to Shaul at Givah, saying, Is David not hiding with us in the strongholds of Horesh, in the hill of Hakilah, which is on the south of the wasteland? And now, O king, by all the desire of your being, come down, and our part is to surrender him into the sovereign's hand. And Shaul said, Baruch, or blessed are you of Yahweh, for you have sympathy with me. Please go, prepare yet further, and find out and see the place where his hideout is. Who has seen him there? For I am told that he is very cunning. So look and learn all about the hiding places where he hides, and you shall come back to me with certainty. Then I shall go with you, and it shall be, if he is in the land, that I shall search for him throughout all of the clans of Yehudah. And they rose up and went to Ziph before Shaul, while David and his men were in the wilderness of Maon, in the desert plain on the south of the wasteland. And Shaul and his men went to seek him, and they informed David. So he went down to the rock and remained in the wilderness of Maon. And when Shaul heard this, he pursued David in the wilderness of Maon. And Shaul went on one side of the mountain, and David and his men on the other side. And David was hurrying to get away from Shaul, for Shaul and his men were surrounding David and his men to take them. Then a messenger came to Shaul, saying, "Hurry and come, for the Pelethites have invaded the land." So Shaul turned back from pursuing David and went against the Pelethites. Therefore they called that place Selah HaMelekoth. And David went up from there and remained in strongholds at En-Gedi. Chapter 24. And it came to be when Shaul had returned from pursuing the Pelethites, that it was reported to him, saying, "See, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi." So Shaul took 3,000 chosen men from all of Yasharel and went to seek David and his men on the face of Suri HaYe'ilam. And he came to the sheepfolds on the way, and there was a cave, and Shaul went in to relieve himself. Now David and his men were sitting in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said, "See, the day of which Yahweh said to you, See, I am giving your enemy into your hand, and you shall do to him as it seems good to you." And David arose and gently cut off a corner of Shaul's robe while he was in the bathroom. And it came to be afterward that the heart of David smote him because he had cut the robe of Shaul. So he said to his men, "Far be it from me, by Yahweh, that I should do this matter to my master, anointed of Yahweh, to stretch out my hand against him, for he is the anointed of Yahweh." And David dispersed his servants with words, and did not allow them to rise against Shaul. And Shaul rose up from the cave and went on his way. So they had a chance. They could have done something about it. They did not. David's heart said, "Far be it that I should do this matter to my master, anointed of Yahweh." Amazing. Verse 8. And afterward David arose and went out of the cave and called out to Shaul, saying, "My master, the king." And when Shaul looked behind him, David bowed his face to the earth and did obeisance. That means to obey. Obeisance. And David said to Shaul, "Why do you listen to the words of men who say, 'See, David seeks to do you evil'? See, this day your eyes have seen that Yahweh gave you today into my hand in the cave. And one said to slay you, but my eye pardoned you, and I said, I do not stretch out my hand against my master. He is the anointed of Yahweh. And my father, see the corner of your robe in my hand? In that I cut off the corner of your robe and did not slay you. Know and see that there is neither evil nor rebellion in my hand, and I have not sinned against you, while you are hunting my life to take it. Let Yahweh judge between you and me, and let Yahweh revenge me on you, but my hand is not against you. As the proverb of the ancients says, wickedness comes from the wicked, but my hand is not against you. After whom has the sovereign of Yasharel come out? Whom do you pursue? A dead dog, a flea? And Yahweh shall be judge, and rightly rule between you and me, and see and plead my case, and rightly rule me out of your hand. And it came to be when David had ended speaking these words to Shaul, that Shaul said, Is this your voice, my son David? So Shaul lifted up his voice and wept. And he said to David, "You are more righteous than I, for you have rewarded me with good, whereas I have rewarded you with evil. You have shown today how you have done good to me, for when Yahweh surrendered me into your hand, you did not kill me. For if a man finds his enemy, shall he let him get away safely? And let Yahweh reward you with good for what you have done to me today. And now look, I know that you shall certainly reign, and that the reign of Yasharel shall be established in your hand. And now swear to me by Yahweh that you do not cut off my seed after me, nor destroy my name from my father's house." And David swore to Shaul. Then Shaul went home, and David and his men went up to the stronghold. Hallelujah!